In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, I want to talk about the taming of complexity in your compliance regime going forward. One of the areas that you need to consider in your compliance program is how the complexity in your organization can work as a counterweight, counterproductive, and even to defeat your overall compliance program. When a corrupt employee is working actively to hide a pot of money which can or will be used to pay a bribe or other nefarious acts, complexity can work to defeat any best practices compliance program. If a compliance function does not have visibility into a business unit, how the unit does business, where it does business, then this complexity could lead to a negative result. The first thing to understand about complexity is it's not a bad thing. Complexity can add to organizational resilience and even flexibility. It can also lead to adaptability, as sustained business and compliance performance requires new offerings and capabilities, which can be created by recombining elements in fresh ways. Complexity can also lead to better coordination in business units across geographic regions and even product lines. The bottom line to all of this is that complexity is not only here to stay, but in the increased chaos of the Trump administration, it may be a necessity so that you have the framework to respond when things change literally day by day. You should begin with using some simple common operating principles. This increases the chances that the new elements and connections will fit comfortably into an organization that contains complexity. One way to do so is to run your business on foundational principles, specifically including transparency. If you move forward towards both transparency in all your processes and protocols and the human-in-the-loop element so that personnel do not hide information, it can work to reduce complexity or at least make complexity less opaque in your organization. While most companies prefer to say they prefer simplicity over complexity, the truth is that complexity is necessary for viability and competitiveness in today's chaotic business environment. Obviously, the pandemic drove a level of complexity that we have never seen, and even as we come out of it, compliance is on a new era of evolution. The technological changes brought by AI will add another level of complexity, and compliance professionals need to understand that a package of resilient, adaptable coordination will be more attractive than efficiency, understanding, and manageability and predictability. The key is to learn how to harness complexity on a sustainable basis. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Well, number 1, if your business is too complex for the compliance function to understand it, it is in greater danger of illegal or unethical activity, which could lead to either fines, penalties, or reputational damage. 2, taming complexity starts with simple operating principles. And number 3, always remember to fix, repair, and prune proactively so that you can get ahead of any issues before they come real problems on a go-forward basis. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and you'll join me again tomorrow on the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily, and frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.